Sup, my dudes, Valk here. You want secret rare Smiley String? You don't know how to beat Abyss? I got you. Abyss is all about strategy in the end anyways, and I have plenty of strategy. I'm going to tell you guys exactly how to do it. First off, you're going to want the Pirate team. You're going to want the full-on, the Straw Hats team. You're going to want the SR++ Luffy. You're going to want Shanks. Shanks is probably the most important one. Outside of Shanks, you're going to want to get UR plus Fire Revolutionist. He's going to be very good for the elemental stages. Then you're going to want SR plus time skip Zoro. Right here, Zoro time skip. He's going to be good for the metal stages. Now that we've gotten out of that out of the way, I'm going to talk to you guys about the actual stages people are struggling with, which is like Abyss 32 with Shigaraki, because they don't understand Shigaraki's mechanics, or Dobby. Whenever we actually go against Dobby, we're actually going to swap our team on over to an Arankar team, because we're going to try to ramp up the Arankar team really fast, and we're going to try to create range. But at the end of the day, the really big important player of this Abyss is Shanks. Shanks is by far the most important character of this Abyss, and you guys will see why as we play. So let's go ahead, let's go to layer 32, because this is the one everybody struggles with. You can see Shigaraki, Metal Rush. We see Metal Rush, so we're going to have to swap off Dennis here. We're going to have to go to Zoro, which is like time skip Zalo or something. I can't remember what they called him. What was it? Can't remember what it is. I know it's down here. I'll just go and search it. Sallow, that's what they called him. So now we have our time skip Sallow. We're going to go ahead. We're going to go to Metal Rush, and we're going to challenge Metal Rush 32. So you guys are probably going to want to copy these strategies pretty verbatim, because I'm only going to go over how to deal with Shigaraki and how to deal with Dobby, because I think those are the only two really challenging things inside this Abyss that you could potentially be struggling on. If you're struggling on other stuff, I'm going to be real, it's probably easy, and you probably just need to strategize just a little bit. I had that our play adhere to the mechanics of the stage, and I do know there was a bug this morning that they said they fixed where nothing worked, nothing attacked, so that's kind of funny. So let's go ahead, let's get into it. Let's start Abyss 32. And like I said, I'm going to try to cover Dobby and Shigaraki both on the exact same video. So this is probably going to be a longer video than you guys are used to. But I'm hoping this video does help you guys out. So I'm going to go ahead and put down 2 Namis. That way I can generate some money. And then I'm going to put down Zoro's way back here for good reason. I'm going to go ahead and put them all down at level 1. We're going to hit ready. I'm only putting on ×2 speed, and I'm not skipping. This is a very big detail. You do not want to skip in this situation. You want to give the Namis time to actually generate money. And let me... Well, I can't turn off with any noise anyways. So I'm just going to let them go ahead and hit. You can see they're not really doing anything because the enemy's all metal. It's not a big deal. You just want to let them hit anyways. And we want to just get our 4 Namis up. And now we can go ahead and start working towards getting our last Zoro really quickly. Now that we have the last one, hopefully have the last one. Okay, now that we have the last one, we can start actually leveling up the Namis to get rid of the Komina Sai. We could probably unironically set it to 3x speed, but I'd rather not right now. I'm just trying to level up the Namis. So we're going to level Nami up. And this is probably the hardest part of this, I'm not going to lie to you guys. Right now, you guys are probably like, how are you going to deal with Shigaraki? You'll see here in a minute. And I'll explain Shigaraki's mechanic at the same time. So they're dealing with the metal enemies. We will level the Zoros up in a second. But for right now, the Namis definitely take priority because they are making us our money. We're going to level up the Namis. We want to level up a singular Zoro up to max. And then we're going to place down our idol, our Oshi. Because our Oshi is going to be another really big important factor in making a lot of money. And that's kind of exactly what we need to be able to actually push forward, is we need to generate lots of funds, lots of revenue, and that's kind of how we're going to be able to push. So now we have our Namis up and running fully. Now that they're up and running fully, we're going to buy food one more time. We're going to take this Zoro all the way in the back here, and we're going to just max level him, max him out really quickly, and then we're going to go from there. We can set this to 3x speed at this point because we're kind of set up. We're locked in, and we're going to go ahead and feed everybody. We just want to get him to where he has the triple sword world cutter move. Now that that's there, we can go ahead. We can put this here. We're going to idol buff, and then we're going to start leveling up our idol. And you guys can see they're dying instantly because Zoro is hitting them, which is really good for us. So now we're going to level up Oshi. We're going to keep leveling up Oshi till Oshi's maxed out. And then we're going to start actually setting up. Because this obviously isn't going to hold up against Shigaraki. So if you guys don't know what Shigaraki's mechanic is, while I'm sitting here just leveling Oshi, Shigaraki's mechanic is the fact that he's going to delete any units around him. So now you're like, Val, yeah, I know how Shigaraki works. How are you going to counter it? Well, it's simple. The keyword is units around him. So we're going to start sticking units way back in this little cubby hole here. This is pretty important, so make sure you guys actually follow along with this, because this is probably the most important thing of the entire thing. So we're going to put units back in the cubby hole. We're going to put another Zora right here. You want to try to squeeze as many in as you can, because at the end of the day, this little cubby hole is going to be your lifeline. So we're going to put this here. And then we're going to start working on other units. Now we're going to go ahead. We're going to work on our Uta. We just want 2 Utas down, so they start cycling the bus back and forth. We got our 2 Utas down. We're going to activate her ability. We're going to work on maxing her out. That way she has further reach. And also her buff is stronger. We're going to feed everybody. They're probably very hungry, and I'll buy them more food in a second. But first we activate second Uta, set her to auto. Go ahead, buy the food, max out second Uta. That way it's a stronger buff. So they're cycling both very strong buffs. And then we're going to feed all. We still have that one Zoro right there. Then we're going to have Shanks here. We're going to have another Shanks here. Like I said, what you're trying to really do is really cramp all the units into this one tiny little spot. You're trying to cramp everybody together. That way, you can actually kind of deal some good damage, and Shigaraki won't delete your units. That's kind of the whole idea we're trying to avoid here, is Shigaraki deleting the units. As long as we can avoid Shigi deleting the units, we're good to go. So here you can see we're down to this. We only have one Shank set up right now, which isn't a bad thing yet. So now at the start of next wave is whenever we're finally going to be fully set up. We're waiting. There we go. It is wave 12 now. So now with it being wave 12, we're going to take our idol. We're going to sell. We're going to take our Namis and we're going to sell. And the reason we're selling the Namis is because Shigaraki's going to delete them where they're currently at. So we just don't need the Namis around. So now with these guys sold, we have enough money to go ahead and finish up our Shanks, and we can start working on the Shank cycle. So now with the Shank cycle going, we're going to do this, and we're going to sell this Zoro because he's going to get deleted by Shigiri. So now with this going, we're going to go ahead and go here. We're going to wait for it to hit 30. We're going to buy some food because we can right now. Now that it's hit 30, we're going to hit the next Shanks. And we're going to put down a Luffy really quickly. We're going to take this Luffy, and we're going to max him out. And he should be out of the deletion area. Okay, and now with this one on here, we're going to hit auto on this as well. And we're going to now up the speed of things, because we should be good to go ahead and just up the speed of all things. So you guys can see exactly how this is working. You guys will get to see whenever Shigaraki starts wandering on by exactly how that works. And now we have the Luffy pretty much ramping up. So here's the boss. You guys will be like, oh no, he's going to delete my units right as he goes by, if he can get there. But if he ever does reach there, you guys will be able to see that he literally can't reach them because they're up in this little cubby hole right here. And look, he's walking by them right now. If they were up by the little pathway, they would get deleted. But because I put them away, see how he's walking by? He actually managed to get a Shanks. There was one Shanks that was too close. So that part kind of sucks, but it is what it is. But you can see we got him. See, he managed to delete a Shanks because we had one Shanks too close. But you guys get the idea. You got to find a little cubby hole. You got to put them away from Shigaraki. So now that we've done Abyss 32, we've done Shigaraki. Next, I'm going to show you how I dealt with Dobby. And Dobby's a little bit more rough to actively deal with. But at the end of the day, you're going to need a completely different team because there's nobody on the Pirates team really with enough range, to put it simply. So I think you could run Pirates or Flower Magician and stuff and potentially do something. But at the end of the day, you're going to be better off just running an entirely different team. And that entirely different team is going to be Arancars. You're going to want to run Arancars because they have Ulquiorra, and Ulquiorra has some of the best range in the game. So you're going to be able to really pop off using Ulquiorra. And that's going to be really, really good for you. So here we bring Halibel in case they're flying. I don't remember what the first Dobby stage is. Let's see. Dobby is... That's metal right here. Flying invasion. So here you're going to want to bring Halibel in case they're flying. You're going to want to put the Namis up front. Well, not in case they're flying. They're 100% flying. But you don't want to put Namis up front, and you don't want to set your actual units further in the back. Very simply because you want Nami to generate as much money as possible. You want your units to be benefited by Oshi. You're going to put Oshi in the back with your units, and you're going to just kind of ramp up and scale up and let Nami and Shanks stun up front while they get hit with the slows. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to put our one Nami right here, and another Nami right here, and then one last Nami right here. And I might as well put all 4 because I didn't leave enough to actually afford a Halibel. So hopefully I don't get punished. Never punished, right? So because of that, you guys can see we're going to go ahead now and bring a Halibel literally all the way back here, because this is where we're going to set up on our Okioras. Put another Halibel right here. And then we're going to go start working on the Namis themselves. So we're going to take this Nami now. We're going to upgrade her, and we're going to get her... We're going to get all 4 Namis to where they're making good money. And we're going to get them at a good stage. Because once they do that and they get that big AoE, they're kind of good to go. So we get one more Nami up. And then we're going to buy some food. Because we should start needing food around that point. You can see we're on wave 3 right now. We're clearing pretty good right now. Nobody's getting by, which is good. But we still don't want to be relaxed about it. So we're going to go here. We're going to upgrade again. One more upgrade on this Nami. And then she's good to go. Then we should have just this Nami left. And now with this Nami just about done, we're going to go ahead and feed them. We're going to generate money, and we're going to get to work on Oshino. So now with Oshino, we're going to put her here. You can see we have her way in the back, and we're going to start maxing out our Oshi. Now with our Oshi maxed, we will be in a very good spot. We'll be in a very, very good spot. So I'm going to go ahead and hit idle buff, hit on auto so I don't forget, because I am quite the forgetful person. And we're just going to keep moving up like this. We're going to get this going. Then we're going to work on our Ulquioras. And once our Ulquioras are worked on, then we can keep moving. Now you probably can't follow this verbatim, right? But you might have to switch it up some. But this is generally what the general idea of what you're going to have to do. You're going to have to take Dobby and you're going to have to outrange the hell out of him. You're going to have to put a lot of distance between you and Dobby to make sure that you can actually, beat him. So we're going to put our Ulquiors way the hell back here. You only really get enough money to make 2. You don't really got to worry about a 3rd one. But we're going to put our Ulquiors way in the back. And you're going to be like, Val, this is absurd. How are you supposed to actually do any damage? You'll see here in a bit. We just kind of need our money to get built up right now. And then we'll go from there. But yeah, here, let me turn off effects just to make sure I can see what's happening. It's gonna... I normally play with effects off just to see what's going on. Just to see if enemies are sneaking by or whatever else is happening. Just in case, because you never really know. So here we have this. We have the ultimate soul piercer move, which is what we want. We don't want to hit that 14k because then that's the next upgrade. And then we're going to want to Flower Magician. He is very important to this. He or she, or I don't really know what Flower Magician. I'll be honest with you. I don't watch Fate. By the way, Flower Magician, incredibly important to this strategy. You're going to want to max out Flower Magician on top of your Ulquioras. We're going to put down another Ulquiora. We're going to get him all the way up now. Because this one Ulquiora should be able to hit basically everything. Yeah, you guys can see the range on an unmaxed Ulquiora. And just see exactly how far it can hit. This is why we have Ulquiora. So, how many times can I say Ulquiora in a single video? Let's find out, chat. Anyways, we're going to get this set up. And then we're going to get to the bread and butter of our plan. That's going to make this possible. We're going to get Shanksu. And we're going to put Shanks down. I kept telling you guys, Shanks is the core of this abyss. Shanks is incredibly important to actually be able to do this abyss. So if you do not have Shanks Evo, I highly, highly, highly recommend doing that before you attempt Abyss. Because he is just so damn good for Abyss. Incredibly good character to actually have in this. And this is how you're basically going to do it. So now we're going to get all 3 Shankses just to where they have their ability. Where they have their time stop. And that's kind of where we're going to want them to be. You can see the Namis are generating lots of money. They're able to keep us up and running. Able to keep us nice and fat and wealthy and all sorts of good stuff. So now we're going to do this. We're going to work on getting this last Shanks up. We're going to have to buy some food here, which does stink, but whatever. So we're going to get this last Shanks up. And we're going to upgrade him. Get him up. 2 more. 2 more upgrades, so 1 more wave and we'll be done. Yep. Un Moss wave and we're good to go. Alright. So because of that, we can do this. Auto. We can set it to 3 times at this point. We should be good to go. Alright. Conqueror, auto. And about now. And auto. Okay, we're good to go now. So now we're going to feed. We're going to come back here. We can see that this Ulquiorra is finished stacking. So we're going to finish him up. And then we're going to come here. And we're going to wait for this Ulquiorra to finish stacking. You can see he's still stacking it up. So we're just going to hang out on him. We're not going to press nothing yet for him. We could put a third ult down, but I just kind of like to save the money just in case I need it for something. So you guys can see. Alright, Ulquiorra's finished stacking, so now we're going to go ahead and get him out. And then we're just going to go here. To make life a little bit easier, we can go ahead and put a Flower Magician right here. Max him out real quick. Go ahead, feed. And you guys can see, Dobby now is going to get stuck in a permanent stun loop of dealing with Shanks over there. And because he's going to deal with Shanks, he can't exactly take care of, you know, he can't lower the attack of the Ulquiorras. This was the whole goal. Is just try to outrange him. Try to get in a situation where we can just keep him at a very good range. And you can see what he's doing to the attack of the Shanks. They're at 54k. The Namis are over here at 7k. Yeah, it's not looking too good attack-wise. But you guys can see we're slowly burning him down. We're getting there. And this last Ulquiorra is ramping up. And this is just going to be a very, very slow burn of killing him. It's going to take some time, but all the Dobby stages generally go the exact same like this, to where you're kind of just waiting on him to die. So here, let's just upgrade him. It doesn't matter if he's fully maxed out. We just want more hits going down. That way, he just dies a little bit faster. But you guys get the idea. Because now you can see what Shanks' attack is at. It's at 13k, because let me turn on effects so you guys can see. I'll probably regret this, but let's turn on effects so you guys can see Dobby's attack. You guys can see it's a very... Watch whenever he stops to attack here. Whenever Dobby stops to attack, you'll get to see it's a very big blue AoE. The fire AoE lowers attack of all enemies around him, so you get to like these really low attack values, like 4k, as you saw in that one Shanks. 4k, and it's just, yeah, it's pretty rough, but this is kind of how you're going to have to do it. If you don't have an evoed Ulquiorra, evoed Sukuna works too. You just want an evoed character with really long range. Anyways, those are the 2 problem stages. If you're struggling with any of the stages, try to just think up different strategies. Try to play with the pirate team, because the pirate team is buffed up in this abyss. But those are kind of the 2 main problem stages. Shigaraki, to recap, you just want to get off the stage. You want to, well, not off the stage. You want to get off the path. You want to get away from him. And then for Shanks, you just want to create a lot of distance using Ulquiorra and creating... That way he can't... Or not for Shanks, but for Dobby, you want to create a lot of distance, and you want to just stay away. That way he can't lower the attack of your main damage. Anyways, that's the video. If you guys have more questions, comment, concerns, let me know in the comment section below. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.